Welcome everyone to the Side Draft Podcast, and you're probably thinking, where in the world is Why Fans Love Clint Boyer? Well, we've decided to change things up for this week. We're eventually going to get back to the Why Fans Love Their Driver, but this week we're talking about why we love NASCAR and what made it special to us, and why maybe some new fans should love it even more. And first off, we're going to talk about what made us drawn into the sport in the first place.
Yes, I've been a big fan for a long time. We go back all the way to about the 80s, 90s. And just growing up, I just started watching NASCAR and watching how competitive it was. And if you don't know it by now, I'm Adam's dad. And so we just got together to do this podcast because we love NASCAR.
Yeah, we wanted to share our love for NASCAR and talk about the race reviews. We just wanted to share our thoughts and opinions of NASCAR. Even though if no one wants to hear us, we're still here to talk about it. But NASCAR's always been a part of my life and always been a Jeff Gordon fan. If he would come back in the car, still would be. As a kid, you think, oh, cool cars, go fast and crash and boom and all that stuff. So, as you grow older, you think, you start looking at the stuff like engineering side and the strategy. At the Roval, he had some fuel mileage going into play. It's like you start to understand a little bit more of NASCAR and the product that is on the track, and it varies year to year, but you start to appreciate things that the teams do and what they do to get around certain new rules, new packages. It's going to be interesting to see what they do next year with the new 2019 package. As we saw this year, they had the less pit crew members, and we saw how the new tricks that they got to do, like the gas man rolls the tire with his foot, and the way that they Daytona, they started out like 17-second pit stops, and now they reduced it to 15, and it's cool to see that type of ingenuity with the sport.
Yeah, I think it's really cool too. It's not many other sports you get to go to the garages and get to see a little bit of. You can see through the glass. You can't get always through the garage, but you can kind of sort of see how they put the cars together and what they do to the cars, and you kind of appreciate that a little more.
Yeah, and speaking of going in the garage, it was our first time at the Roval actually having pit passes, and it was a cool experience. It's like we've seen the pits from our seats most of the time, and it was just so weird to see it right there, like a few feet away, and you get to see like some of the pre-race prep that some of the pit crew members do and crew chiefs and all that stuff. And it's cool to meet just random guys, random celebrities walking in the garage. We met Richard Childress and Joe Gibbs, people like that. Got to talk with a few drivers, which leads us to the personalities in NASCAR are really diverse, and that makes NASCAR unique to me.
Yes, it does. Really get to even see the drivers. Not just at the track, or they may be having an appearance somewhere, or in the shop, or you may even see them at McDonald's or somewhere like that. And it's pretty cool, to get that close to the drivers.
Yeah, and we see drivers with different driving styles, especially when it comes to veterans versus rookies. Also with that, we have different victory celebrations. Like Ryan Blaney has the Polish victory lap. He does that to not damage the car, and that's very respectable, and I think the team loves that a lot. Especially the Fab Shop people by a lot. Engine department loves that too. But that's something that is unique to Blaney. We also have Brad Keselowski's American flag salute, which is amazing to see that burnout, and it's like you have Kyle Busch and his bow that he does. Joe Logano has the steering wheel fist bump, I guess that's what it's called.
Yeah.
I don't know the term for that, but then we used to have Carl Edwards, and he used to do the backflip, which Daniel Hemrick said that he would do that if he would win a race, which should be very soon. Can't wait for that.
That'd be pretty cool too. We actually got to meet Daniel down in the garage, and he just awesome to talk to, and he just took his time and talked to us. I mean, and that interaction was what really makes you become drawn more into the sport and more into that driver, because the more they interact with you, the more you want to pull for that driver, that team, and actually go out and buy their stuff.
Yeah, and another thing that makes fans really love NASCAR, and it's really enhanced my viewership with NASCAR, because Twitter, you get to talk with the drivers without having to go all the way to the racetrack, without having to go to their shop and stalk them and wait until they get out of their car or something. But you get to just say, hey, I'm a big fan of you, and they may reply to you and be like, yeah, I'm glad that you are a fan, or say something like that. We personally had a driver this year notice one of our podcasts in the Wife of Fans Love series, which was Brad Kozlowski, and he showed so much genuine appreciation for that video, and it made us actually be more fans towards Kozlowski.
Yeah, because I was kind of a fan of his before a little bit, and then once he did that, it just made me went to a whole new level. Made me respect him a whole lot more, and it just kind of inspired us even more to do the videos a little better, and it kind of pumped us up.
Yeah, it's really one of those moments. It's like, wow, that video wasn't even good. Oh no, he saw that, he saw this, but it made us really excited, and the kind words that he had for it made us give us a little bit of hope for these podcasts. And
then actually got to meet him afterward.
Yeah,
it was a few weeks after that, and I actually got to meet him over at the shop, and he remembered us. I mean, that was pretty cool. For him to really notice us like that.
Yeah, it gave us a newfound confidence, you could say, with these podcasts, and it's just one of those moments that defined who we were. We didn't know who we were, and then that one little tweet that a driver did went a long way.
Yeah, and I believe Jimmy Johnson's probably one of the first ones that was on Twitter. And he kind of talked to Dale Jr. into coming on Twitter. And once he did, Twitter just kind of blew up because of Junior's fan base. And it's been a real good platform for NASCAR and for the fans, the drivers, and everybody to, stay in contact with each other.
Yeah, and it's like, if you can get a reply from Dale Jr., I guess that's one of those crown jewels of Twitter, You have, I don't know how many crown jewels you'd actually have, but if you could do that, that's a great accolade for your Twitter career. But yeah, that is just some of the reasons why we love NASCAR. Another thing Twitter is useful for is like events, getting to know when drivers are certain places. We were introduced to the GoPro Motorplex for the Little 600 and got to meet more drivers there. It's actually where we became fans of Ryan Blaney. Got to meet him there, and
we actually met him when he was driving the trucks for Brad. Is the year before he started into the Cup Series.
Yeah, before he went part-time, I believe. So
yeah, and that's where we become fans of his and got to talk to him a little bit.
Yeah, and you get to learn more about drivers nowadays than you did a long time ago, and I think that is something NASCAR is doing great at the moment. Not all drivers are friendly on Twitter, but for the most part, these drivers are, as long as you're nice to them, as long as you don't go and say awful things like some fans do, but you're going to have that. But if you're a respectable fan on Twitter, you're going to get a respectable reply back. And I think we need some more positive tweets to some of these drivers, because it's getting somewhat awful, you could say, for what some fans do.
At least little thing they just want to jump on and just dog the driver or something, and just, come on, people, we just need to be respectful of each other.
Yeah, that was our original plan of why fans love their driver, is to uplift that driver, because when you think about it, drivers get on a day-to-day basis so much hate throughout the platform, more than it used to be. And we wanted to make a driver feel appreciated. Even though that they are professional drivers, I believe it is important for them to get reminded of how good they are as a person.
Yes, because just recently, this past few weeks or so, they reported that Jordan Anderson reportedly stole a truck, and then the fans just jumped all on him and just dogged him and stuff, but then find out that he didn't steal it. He just bought it off of false pretenses, and I guess all of them are eating the words now. So we just got to just don't just jump on everybody and just dog them like that. Just take some time and get your facts, and just be respectful for each other.
Yeah, and one thing I've learned as a NASCAR fan this year is, even if you might not like a driver, just don't tweet them at all. If you don't like them to the extent of threatening them or all that kind of stuff, just don't tweet them. They wreck in a race, don't go, well, I'm glad they wrecked, or something like that, or I hope they hit the wall real hard. Don't do that.
Yeah, like when at the Roval, when Jimmy was going for the lead and he just wheel hopped and took him and Truex out, and everybody's like, well, you should just stay where you're at. You've been in the playoffs, but we're not here to just to points race. We're here to win races, and it's different when you're in the car, and then when you're in the stands or at home watching TV. You just got to split second to decide what you want to do. So it's kind of, if you was in the car, you'd have a different outlook of things.
Yeah, get on iRacing. I'm sure your outlook will change. Because you're in a car, you want to win. You won't go, well, second's great. I'm pretty sure there's some drivers that would gladly take second any day, but to Jimmy Johnson, he's the freaking 7-time champion. He doesn't care about second. He wants that 83rd, 84th Cup victory. That's what he wanted. And I think that is very respectable from Jimmy Johnson. Truex might not think that, but it's the beauty of the sport. We're going to have exciting finishes like that, and that is another reason why we love NASCAR, is just the unpredictability of the races.
Yeah, the competition, you just never know what the outcome's going to be.
Like, one of the big three might dominate a race, but the next race we might have a race like the Roval, where some guy just, driving in third gets lucky with the two cars in front of him crashing. That is NASCAR, and I believe we're going to see a lot more of that in the future, and it's going to be an exciting ride. So remember, everyone, to stay positive on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure the NASCAR drivers will treat you a lot better, because I've seen Denny Hamlin say, don't give those guys any press if they're negative, and we wanted to take that and transform it to give more of the positive guys some of that press, some of their stage, because I believe there's a lot of good people on Twitter, and I think we need to show who they are.
Yeah, I think a lot of times the drivers, they're under a lot of pressure too. Especially with the playoffs and the points, and uh, sometimes if a driver hasn't won in a while and he's got in mind, we might go win again, and and sometimes maybe a kind word would help them a little bit. You never know. We look at them as superheroes, but they're just as humans like all of us are, and sometimes they may just need a nice word to them.
Yeah, you never know when that one little tweak can go so far. So everyone, that is why we love NASCAR. We love the drivers, love their personalities, love the racing, just love the history of it, love almost everything about it. And we can't wait for the future races and future podcasts of our channel. So we'll see you next time, and thank you for watching.